we open wide the virtual stage where ideas spark and wisdom fills the page. From the UK to the land of maple trees, John and Mike bring clarity with ease. We're building meetings, webinars with might, helping you shine, your message taking flight. Whether you're new or you've done this before, Lord Zoom Live will help you do much more. We're building meetings, webinars with might, helping you shine, your message taking flight. Whether you're new or you've done this before, Lord Zoom Live will help you do much more. Thank you for joining us, we're glad you're here. Together we grow, it's loud and clear. On Zoom we connect, we learn, we grow. Welcome my friend, enjoy the show.
Greetings! It's Lord Zoom Live. And this could be a really short show or a really long show, because Zoom Events now has the ability, in some cases, to create certificates of attendance. This is a big deal to those people that are doing training and other types of events where they want to educate their team or teach them something or train them, or basically do anything that they then want to verify that the people turned up, got their training, got educated, and went away with a little certificate. It's a fantastic feature, and you know what Zoom are like. You ask them to do something simple, and they come up with something far more clever. And they've done it again today. But talking of something simple who's actually far more clever, Mike, welcome to the show.
Hello, everybody. Hope everybody had a good week. And John's going to show us certificates.
I am. And I'm thinking that these would be quite useful in your world if you've got dealers who are going to come to a webinar and learn about something and then get a little certificate to show that they turned up and they did the work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, it's something that we could actually add to our offerings to, as we are a distributor here in Canada, for our brands to actually, and it gives a bit of a kudos to the dealer, making them feel that, oh, okay, I've taken the training. Should it be a sales training of the product? Should it be a technical training of the product? Again, it's authorized by our company and the brand that you were certified for something. Sales, technical, support, repairs, whatever.
Yeah, I think you're right. We like certificates. We like bits of paper. We do it in Toastmasters a lot as well. Every time we have a competition and everybody gets a little piece of paper to say that they did something. I might stick mine on the wall for a couple of weeks and then it falls off and I throw it away. But at the time, it's valuable.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to try and explain to you what certificates are. And I say I'm going to try to explain because this is one of these typical things that Zoom do. We say, Zoom, we want this feature. Zoom say, gosh, that sounds like a good idea. And then they go and produce something and don't explain it to us and just make it happen.
But they'll also say, John, they'll also say to us, do you like it?
Oh, yes, they always say that, don't they? Do you like it?
You like it? You like what we did?
Well, let's see if you like what we did. So also a little plug here for screen share, because I'm using the Chrome browser and I'm doing a screen share of one tab. So in theory, I can click on the tab to make sure the YouTube's still working and you won't notice. We might even try that just to see if it actually works. Can be a bit confusing, but I'm pretty sure I've shared the right screen. But until Mike enables it, we're going to find out. Oh, it is the right screen. That's always good to see. So this new feature is hidden because it's hidden because, of course, you don't know where it's going to be, do you? They add a new feature, you have to go and find it. So you can see here I've created an event called My Certificated Event. And in the general configuration section, there's a section called Advanced Features. And in Advanced Features, there is certification, which you enable by just clicking that button there. And you're very politely told that you can change the criteria until the scheduled time of the event. Well, that makes you think, what criteria, guys? Well, I'll show you, because I was pretty damn chuffed to see it. Now, again, this is my interpretation of what it is, but I believe that this thing at the top is a credit type of full credit or partial credit. We're going to do with full credit because I've found out that's the easier version of the whole system. And we have 3 little boxes, and I can uncheck them and I can check them. And this is where it gets fun. So the first box is about view time. So if I check that button, Zoom will now expect your attendees to be in attendance for 60 minutes. I can change the number to anything I like. So now they've got to be around for 35 minutes. And if they're around for 35 minutes, they have fulfilled that part of the attendance, which gets them the certificate. But it might not, because we also have a polls section. And we can say, now otherwise it won't give me any. I actually set up 2 stupid polls. Stupid as in stupid question type polls before we started this. So I've got something to play with. And you can see that it knows I have a maximum of 2 polls associated with this event at the moment. And I can now choose 1 or 2 or nothing. And if I choose 1, that means they must partake of one of the 2 polls that I have for the credit, so to speak, of the certificate. They don't have to have a quiz poll and pass a test. No, that's not there yet. Got a feeling that's probably where Zoom are going to go next. But at the moment, you just have to partake in the poll. And the last thing, and this is quite, well, it threw me to start with because I wonder why you'd want this. But then actually thinking about it, it does make a lot of sense. There's a resources check mark that you can have. So if I put some resources in, like some, what in Mike's case, maybe a product brochure or a sales guide or a technical briefing, you can set this sort of tripwire of saying, and I've just put 1 PDF in there. So it's saying there are 1 resource available. And if I set it to 1 and I've got the box ticks, then your attendees have to access 1 resource at the resources list to get their certificate. Does it sound all fantastic and wonderful so far? I think it does. Let's show the certificate design and then we'll get Mike back on and see what he thinks of things. So this is where I got really worried. I thought, okay, because this is something, and I've written certificate programs of my own, so I know this is where you can get yourself into trouble. But I don't think Zoom qualify for that. I think Zoom have done this really nicely because you can upload a PDF. You can also upload a logo. And then you can set a set of criteria that you want to add information. And then you get a certificate like this. So I've created this certificate. And if I mouse over, you can see that the attendee name is from up here, attendee name. The event name is there. And then data completion, I've also put on the thing, and that's down there. And you literally just drag them to where you want them on the form. Line them up how you like. It would be nice to know exactly where the center is, because I know some people around here like to be pixel perfect. But you can change the font. Not a great selection, but at least you can change the font to a degree. Change the size. You can make it bold. You can change the color if you want to. And that is your form. And then in its infinite wisdom, Zoom will then create that certificate for you, putting that extra data in. You save it. Always have to remember to save with Zoom, don't we? And there you are. And you can even preview it. Of course, the preview is not going to work for you guys because I've got you nailed down to one particular screen, haven't I, on the Chrome. So you're not going to see the certificate. But I promise you it's there. Not much to look right home about because it's exactly the same as what we have now. But that is the certificate. And then the last thing is we have a delivery method of in-session download. So when they fulfill the criteria that you've set, they get a banner appear and they can, and I haven't run the banner, I'll tell you why in a second. And the banner then appears and they can then download their certificate. You can also set up an email to send them the certificate as well. And that's all there is to it so far. Mike, I think it's quite neat. Would you like to?
It is quite neat. I would wonder if the capabilities are there to be able to, maybe not yet, but it could be in the future, to actually change a little bit of the background, shall we call it, the background image of the certificate?
Oh, no, so sorry. I created a certificate in Canva.
Oh, okay.
I nicked one they had already in the Canva, but you create the design of the certificate completely yourself. Sorry, I didn't explain that very well. It's always good having you here. And then you just save it as a PDF.
Okay.
Now, quite often when I do things like this and PDFs in other worlds, you put a holding marker where the words you're going to put in are. But in their version, you don't. So in their version, you create the certificate in anything you like. As I said, I just used Canva because it was nice and quick and easy. You save it as a PDF. You leave gaps where you want the words to come in from the certificate, and then you just pull it into here, load it in, and then the certificate, you just drag your words that you want, the name and the thing, and you just drag them into the place, and that's how you do it. So yeah, the design is completely up to you. The certificate design is just a template uploaded from it's a PDF uploaded, and it was uploaded from the computer downstairs. That's why I can't just click the button and upload it again, because it's the computer downstairs. I suppose I could probably run Canva on here and do the same thing, but yeah, that's all it is. And if you don't need the data completion and you don't need event name because you've already put it in the PDF, you can just uncheck those and they just disappear.
Right. So it's up to you entirely what customization that you want to be able to. It will bring in variables. Let's use that terminology. It'll bring variables in from the Zoom system, attendee name, event name, date completion. Then if you want custom text,
you've got one field.
About that.
Yeah.
So that could be something that you forgot when you weren't making the actual.
Exactly. Or maybe you're doing it.
Yeah, it could be the actual. Yeah, it could be for something. Yeah. Right. Some sort of random, whatever.
But it is nice to have just a, you know, an extra field just for the, as you say, just for the times when maybe you're doing this on a regular basis and the person running the training could be changed. So maybe the name of the person signing it would change depending
Right.
on the webinars. It
Right.
is nice to have an extra field.
Totally agree. Like it very much. Like it very much. Because again, taking the example that John was talking about when it comes to our brands, that whole certificate could be entirely branded, pun intended, to the brand. And, you know, it could have their logo, company logo on there, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, so it could be entirely there. The actual certificate background could be entirely that. And then it's just a matter of, you know, what did you learn? You know, who is learning it? And that's where the custom fields come into play in them. Perfectly fine.
Yeah. So we just have to make it clear that this is a certificate of attendance. If you're there long enough, if you partake of the poll, if you access the download, if that's the criteria you set, that is what qualifies you. There's no test, there's no exam on this. It's a certificate of attendance. And
Okay. Could you actually manipulate a poll to be a questionnaire?
you could, but it only wants to, it only wants you to do the poll. So I don't think I actually gave it a poll questionnaire with the score, you know, with the right answer, wrong answers, and
Right.
it doesn't seem to take any notice of that at the moment. But that would be the logical place to go next.
Right. Would be some sort of version. Again, it's similar to a poll, but it becomes now, you know, a multiple choice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's make sure that you've learned what you've learned, and then all of a sudden at the end, you know, and then have it yes or no. Did they get the answer right? And they're not allowed to get a certificate unless they answered 3 out of the 4 polls / multiple choice questions.
Yeah. Which, just to be clear, it doesn't do at the moment. But if I show you how it does the partial certificate, you may see how they could make this really easy to add in the future.
All right.
So when we looked at the last form, we looked at the full credit version. If I go to the partial credit version, you have, as you see, I've played around with this already, so let me delete them and go backwards. So we have a levels. So I can say to get credit level 1, you just have to turn up for 30 minutes. If you want attendance credit number 2, you've got to turn up for 60 minutes. I think that's because that's what the length I put of the event. And then if you want to get credit level 3, you've got to attend for 60 minutes and you've got to answer one of the polls. And I now have a multi-credit level version of the attendance. So that's another way of doing it. And I can see how that could possibly then be made into something that scores. But at the moment, you can have 20 credit levels. I mean, this is just like Zoom. Well, they probably only need a dozen or 10. Let's give them 20. They'll have plenty of room there. So you set your levels, and that's it. Everything else is the same. Did I save it? Did I need to save it? Let's save it just to make sure I've saved it. And again, there is a credits text. So that's the only difference, you see. So somewhere around here now, it's now dropped. There we are. It's credits. So there's a credits text. And that's it. That's the difference. I can't see how that appears on the text because that says credit level 1 and credit level 2. I'm assuming that I didn't do it because I haven't run it. I'm assuming that that's going to appear on this certificate, the wording, but I'd have to, whoops, wrong button. I would have to check that. I'm assuming that's the credits text. But assuming stuff with Zoom is always a bad idea because you never know what clever little thing they've come up with. But that's what I'm assuming. And of course, I wanted to show this to you, and I couldn't show this to you for one simple reason. I'll save it. And the simple reason is it doesn't work on our events. Now, I don't know why it doesn't work on our events. There could be two reasons, and both of them would be valid Zoom reasons. Reason number one, our events was created before this feature even existed. And I know that that gives Zoom a problem on quite a lot of cases, that if you create something new, you can't always retrospectively put everybody back into the system. So that's one reason why it might not work. Second reason why it might not work is that this event is a single event training, whereas our webinars are actually multi-session events. So we're repeating them weekly over and over and over again. And the certificate doesn't really fit in the same way to that scenario. So for my mind, at the moment, you create a single attendee event. You can create certificates for it. And if you wanted to repeat that event, you've got, as we've shown, you've got some fields so you could play around with it and make it change depending on what you did in the future. So you've got that extra field if you've got something that's going to be different each time you run the event. But even with those little things that aren't available for now, I still think this is fantastic, really useful. And all I can think of is little things now to make it even better. But this for my events that I do. Again, I run a lot of events and trainings, and a certificate of attendance would be fantastic to add to all those events now. We do a lot. As I said, I've got my own certificate program where we had to download the list of all the people that attended and then feed it into the certificate program, and the certificate program then created PDFs and sent them out to everybody. Well, you don't have to do any of that here. It's all done for you. You've got the ability on the certificates to let them have certificates when they completed it so they can take it home, so to speak, while they're still in the event. And if you don't want them to do that, then you go into the good old Zoom email system. And because it's opened a new window, you can't see that. So let me change my share, and I'll share that page as well. So I want to share. Oh no, we found you couldn't do this, didn't we? We found you had to stop sharing to reshare another page. Let me see if I can use the new version of browser tabs. No, I can't. Okay. Something about Muhammad and mountains coming to people. Watch this magic. No, I couldn't beat it. Okay, well, there's another way to beat it, because if I go into the communications and emails, the email I want is going to be down here. There it is. There's always two ways to find everything in Zoom. That's what I like about Zoom. So here's the certificate that I was trying to get to. And quite simply, it's the familiar email program that we have, with all its little extra bits that Zoom give you. So you can add images and dividers and sections and blocks. But at the end of the day, what you're doing is you're sending an email, and then the email gives you access to the special button, download certificate, and that would allow them then to download their PDF from an email that would be sent. And again, you set the rules. I think it's something like 5 minutes after the event. 15 minutes after the event is the default time. So you can have that sent off, and they've got their email with their congratulations for attending. Here's your certificate. What a clever person you are. And that is it. But Mike, like so much that Zoom does, when somebody asks them for something, it opens a whole new area of things that can be developed from Zoom and concepts that can now make Zoom go into a new direction of training and educational webinars. And this is a great feature to really highlight what's possible.
It absolutely is, John. It is an awesome feature. I wish that certain webinars that I go to that are utilizing Zoom, that may be a Zoom meeting where they could actually be a webinar, and some of them that are actually Zoom webinars that actually could be a Zoom webinar plus. Now, again, just to make sure that I'm not confusing the licenses, this is only available to Webinar Plus. John.
I believe I've only seen it in Webinars Plus so far. I believe that's where it is at the moment.
Right.
Although
Okay.
it gets really confusing nowadays, because when you've got a Zoom events portal and you create an event, you're not really quite sure whether you're creating an event or a Webinar Plus event or a webinar. But I think on the whole, by default, when you're in the events license, you're creating Webinar Plus events. So I'm
Yeah.
going to nail it there for now until I can get the product manager to say it's available elsewhere. But yeah, I think this
Right.
is a Webinar Plus thing. And yes,
Yeah.
as you so beautifully put it, those minimalist users of Zoom who are basically just not taking advantage of the features and, you know, doing meetings when they should be running webinars, and then not taking advantage of Webinar Plus to make their webinars actually look good, and reducing their world to the old screen share and the little box in the corner.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's fantastic.
And on top of that too, I've known some of the industry people that will use Zoom for a Zoom meeting, and then within 24 hours, a third-party system that happens to have a certificate in it, because it's a certificate service, I now officially get a certificate sent to me via email.
Yep.
It
Not my
just doesn't,
service, but
yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to me sometimes when I go to some of our industry events where it's like, if you only knew.
yeah, I've started calling them the minimalists, the people that do the least
That-
possible. And
that's
yeah,
fair.
yeah, but it's a competitive world out there. So we have a question about this. Robert
we do.
says, we do. You didn't know that, did you?
Excellent. No,
Robert
that's
says,
good.
can you as the host generate the certificate and download it, or is the certificate only available to the authorized attendees? That is a really good question, Robert. And the answer is, as far as I can see at the moment, you can't do much at all. So I think it's up to the attendees. I was actually thinking there could be one clever hack, could be maybe to, although it might be overkill, might be to muck around with the email. Wonder if we could blind copy. No, it doesn't look like we can. No, I think the answer, Robert, is no, we can't. Although that would be going back on what we're trying to do, which is not to get you to download the list so that you can do that. But I haven't seen as yet a report just about this. Maybe it's going to be in the analytics. It is. There we are. So we will get, obviously this is not going to give us very good statistics at the moment because the thing hasn't even run. Actually, I'm not sure. This is probably fake analytics. Well, even if it's fake analytics, it's not valid analytics because I haven't actually run this event. This event's not due to run until Friday. But there is a total of users, which therefore tells me that they are tracking the numbers. So I'm assuming that if I exported this and I actually run the event, that I would possibly get the data that you are talking about. Let's see, I've got the engagement. Is it qualified for engagement? Does it say it's in the engagement? Yes, it is the engagement. So I am going to say that I believe that it's going to be trackable in the reports, because there are engagements. So yeah, there we are. It's empty, but there is the email. There's the list. You can see it there. It's completely empty, but there is the certificates list. So you get the email, the person, you get their name, and you get the certification status. Because I think the last thing I left this in was the partial mode. So that looks to me like, oh, I can even turn on and on the columns. I do like Zoom. They do make things nice for us. So yes, these certificates could be exported if you wanted it as well, but that doesn't stop you giving them away and emailing them to them at the same time as well. So you've got both answers. So that's great. Always nice to find an answer to a question. I thought he caught me out there at start with, but no, we have the answer. I love it. And it's only, as I said, it's only our reoccurring sessions, but this may be a problem. Oh, it's going to open another tab. I don't want it to open another tab because you can't see it. But there is I'm not going to say a problem, because it's not a problem. There is a confusion at the moment because Zoom have updated the screen displays and the layouts to make things simpler in Zoom Events, and they haven't rolled it across all the versions of Zoom Events. So it may be that this button and this area will pop up somewhere in the near future and we'll be able to use it more extensively. But at the moment, it doesn't seem to be available to people who are already running a multi-session event. But I don't know if that's a limitation of multi. I can see logically why it might be a limitation that you want the events to run separately. But if you're doing a training thing, that's what you would do, I would think. You would run an event, you would set the criteria that people want, and they would get a certificate of attendance for that particular event. And at this point, I was expecting something really amazing to come from Mike, but he's not come up with anything so far. But
In what regards?
I don't know. I just think this is
Okay.
oh gosh, now I can't think of examples.
You answered everything perfectly, John.
Well, thank you very much. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
everybody for saying that. And thank you for
we're
the
getting lots of
hearts.
love from the community. That's awesome.
That's it. I think I'll refer to the answer I gave earlier. But I love this because we asked for certificates, so they've given us something a bit more useful than just a basic certificate, which shows that they are thinking, Zoom Engineering are thinking really well about what this can be used for. They've obviously spoken to a lot of organizations and got some feedback, because I know a lot of corporates and a lot of educational users of Zoom who use it properly and not minimal versions have been pulling out reports and making certificates of their own. And they were really pushing Zoom to have its own automated certificates. I love the fact that certificates happen before the meeting finishes. That is really cool. This is definitely something that can now grow into a really powerful feature and be added to. And yeah, I will change hats, put my developer's hat on, and I'll look for the APIs next. So to see if I can, what else I could do with the data that's been generated from this particular group of people when they get the certificates, because it is a separate report. So I would now start thinking about, what can I do to make this even more amazing with a marketplace app? But that's it. That is all there is to it. But I think for a simple feature, this is a really good implementation. And I'm really pleased. And that is all we have to say about that particular thing.
Oh, and you're going quiet on me. I don't know if that's good or
Well,
bad, John. You're
that
getting us in
means
suspense.
that means
You
I'm
got something
afraid that
hidden?
Lord Zoom Live is going to be a Lord Zoom half hour.
Oh, all right.
But there is a lot of other things going on at the moment. So I will tell you about other things that are going around. So if you are watching this live or nearly live, we have a lot of events of ourselves going on. And next week in this slot, on our Tuesday night slot, we are going to be talking about Zoom schedule. Now, I'm really excited about this because I'll let you into a little secret. Two of the engineers who actually created the Zoom schedule for Zoom gave me half an hour of their time, and we went through some of the issues about using Zoom schedule. So I am so thankful for their time to give me the inside track on Zoom schedule. And so we will be spilling the beans about that next week. And for those that are into big productions, keep a lookout, because Zoom ISO super duper version is now in beta. I think it's called 3.0. It's cloud-based. I have a feeling it's got some, well, I have a feeling it's got some sexy things happening in the cloud that we probably don't get to see much of at the moment. It does, again, show a direction of travel after we've had the fantastic enhanced media just released for those people that want to look more pretty at 60 frames per second. So I think in that world, there's a few other things all sort of going off up to the next level, which can make some really good quality things. I'm looking forward to talking about those, but I need to get them all installed and set up and get my Zoom rooms to go to 4K on my TV and all those sort of things. It's all well and good, these marketing people running around and saying you can do this, that, and something else. But us guys, we like to play with it, don't we? We like to use it. So there's a lot happening at the moment. It's a happy time of the year. The birds and bees are all coming out. Spring has sprung, and Zoom is powering on with more features than you can ever shake a stick at. So we look forward to seeing you at whatever event or webinar, or just see us on YouTube. Of course, I can look at YouTube and don't have to worry about the screen changing as well, which is fantastic. Oh, I just love it. Oh, Zoom. I'm doing a bit of a love in here. I'm sorry about that, but that's, it's Zoom is going really well. And I've found a very, very vague bug in Zoom, and the engineers are working on it for me now. I mean, it's just, even when things go wrong, they fix it so quickly. It's wonderful. Yes, I'm a little bit zoomed, but I love the program. I love the certificates, and I will be using them. I will be using them from next week. I'm going to start certificating everybody for turning up to my little training sessions. And Mike, you can certify all your engineers to your heart's content now.
Yes. True. And well, in our cases, yes, it's definitely would be definite perk for our distribution company to actually utilize the certification engine that is built into events, the events platform / webinar plus at this, as we were showing today. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, your time is precious. The audience time is precious. So as my primary school teacher used to say, you've all done very well. Going to let you go early. Thank you very much, everybody. Let's just hope that I got the closing music and the graphics the right way for Mike to be able to do the closing credits. But thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. And if you want to turn up to the events live and join the audience, you're welcome to do so. Robert did, and he got his question in. So there we are. Thank you very much, Robert. Thank you, Mike. And thank you for watching at home.
Yep. Take care, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Every week we open wide the virtual stage where ideas spark and wisdom fills the page. From the UK to the land of maple trees, John and Mike bring clarity with ease. We're building meetings, webinars with might, helping you shine your message, taking flight. Whether you're new or you've done this before, Lord Zoom Live will help you do much more. We're building meetings, webinars with might, helping you shine your message, taking flight. Whether you're new or you've done this before, Lord Zoom Live will help you do much more. Thank you for joining us, we're glad you're here. Together we grow, it's loud and clear. On Zoom we connect, we learn, we grow. Welcome my friend, enjoy the show. From big events to breakout rooms with flair, we've got the tools and we're ready to share. Guest experts drop in, bringing gold each time, with insights and tricks to help you climb. Can't make it live? We've got you still on YouTube and LinkedIn. We're giving that thrill, so tune in later or catch us next round. Either way, your success is where we're bound. Thank you for joining us, we're glad you're here. Together we grow, it's loud and clear. On Zoom we connect, we learn, we glow. Welcome my friend, enjoy the show. And make it live, we've got you still. On YouTube and LinkedIn, we're giving that thrill. So tune in later or catch us next round. Either way, your success is where we're bound. Now take the spotlight, the stage is yours. Bring your message through virtual doors. Each week we gather, and now you know you're not alone, so let it flow. Thank you for joining us, now go and shine. Share what you've learned, your voice, your time. With Lord Zoom Live, your power will grow. It's time to build your own show.